Please help me in welcoming our guest speaker, Mr. Spencer Fulmer.
It is an honor and a privilege to be asked to speak here tonight. I have a message for you graduates, but before I get started, I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge this awesome community full of parents, family, faculty, staff, board members, and especially teachers. You teachers have so shaped me and who I am today. You've inspired me, you've motivated me, you've encouraged me, and just like that bit of an introduction said, instead of doing homework, I was able to make videos with friends. I just really want to take this time to acknowledge the teachers here today. Thank you. And now to you, the men and women of the graduating class of 2017. I was sitting in your same seats 9 years ago. 9 years ago. May seem long to you, may not seem that long to some of you. And as you heard maybe in the introduction, before my 21st birthday, I'd made 2 feature films. But what happened from 21st birthday until today? I'd like to share a little bit with you about my own experience, about what I learned along the way, and to impart some advice to you to hopefully inspire you whenever you leave this place here tonight. So I had always had a vision for my life that I wanted to make film. I wanted to move to Hollywood. You can ask my school teachers, you can ask my family. I said I was going to be moving to Hollywood for as long as I can remember. And yet, I actually moved to Hollywood just not quite 2 years ago. In January of 2016, 18 months ago, I moved to Hollywood. And 2 years ago, my life hit a wall. I had done a lot, I had earned degrees, I had lived overseas, and yet I found myself in a place that wasn't working. I was struck by this revelation 2 years ago this month. I was living and working in Seattle, Washington, and it was at the end of a particularly long day. I was working 3 jobs. I had woken up at 3 a.m., and I was on my 3rd job, and it was 10 p.m. And I was about to continue my routine. I was about to turn off the lights on my office, and I was going to return home and just get what sleep I could before I repeated again this cycle that wasn't working. Instead, I was struck with the thought, I was struck with the revelation that something in my life wasn't working. When I was sitting in your seats, I had a vision. I thought about, from guidance counselors and teachers, I thought about who I wanted to become in 5 years and 10 years. And so 7 years out, I had become a person that I hardly recognized, someone that I knew was miserable and that wasn't living out his vision. And so 2 years ago, I decided to jot down on a piece of paper what it was about, where was it in my life where I felt truly inspired, truly motivated, truly alive. And I thought about filmmaking. If I could do anything in the world, it was always filmmaking. If I could live anywhere in the world, it was always Hollywood. And here I am, quite miserable in dreary Seattle. So, thank God, I got out of those circumstances, and through a lot of struggle, through a lot of pain, and through a lot of obstacles, I packed up all of my earthly belongings that could fit in my Jeep Liberty, and I drove from Seattle to Hollywood to restart my life. There were fears, there were criticisms. I didn't have an entirely bad thing going on in Seattle. I knew it was not what I was called to do. And so I did have criticisms, and some of those fears came back. The same fears that got me into that rut, they were facing me once again. And, Aristotle has a really interesting quote. He says, criticism is something that we can easily avoid by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. I don't want to live that way anymore. So when I moved to Hollywood, California, 18 months ago, I restarted my life. I didn't have much finances I didn't have a job. I didn't have a place to live. And yet I knew, because I was finally letting go of my fears, and I was pursuing what would want to make me get up out of bed in the morning, because I was pursuing my passion, all those fears had melted away. I could be homeless, like so many people are in Los Angeles. I could be homeless living under the bridge, but if I could continue to try and work and to try and achieve my dreams, I would have a purpose, and I'd have a vision, and I would feel fulfilled. You know, life is strange. It goes on different tangents that you may not anticipate, and yet you still have the choice to get out of any rut you find yourself in. Life may look very different 5 years from now or 9 years from now than what you anticipated, but you can always restart. And you have to remember the vision that first got you there. And I had visited Hollywood, California before. I had been there. I'd been there in high school when I was 16. I'd been there right after I graduated when I was 18. Visited a couple times for work. And the thing that always kept me coming back, and because the reason I knew it was the place that I needed to move, is the kind of people who lived in Hollywood, the kind of person that would move out there, you know, abandon everything, it seems, and pursue a dream. It could seem foolish, right? And my recommendation to you is to never abandon whatever your dream is. It might look very different from me, but never abandon your dream just because someone else is living their nightmare. And so when I got to Hollywood, these people, they inspired me. You know, there's these actors, these starving artists is what I like to call them, these actors who had auditioned and auditioned hundreds of times, thousands of times, and yet they still auditioned. They had that audacity to continue to strive and to continue to have hope that one day their vision would come true. And by perseverance, so many of my friends that I've met out there, their dreams are coming true today. It might take more time and it might look different than what you anticipated, but by perseverance, you can reach your own goals. And so I was so attracted by that kind of spirit, the spirit of Hollywood, that vision, those individuals that were so committed to doing whatever it is they were called to do in their life. And you know, being out of school and out of this area for a couple of years now, I thought, you know, I've seen the same vision of Hollywood, right? The same spirit, the same reckless, abandoned pursuit of your dreams and your goals. I've seen it in other places. And I would like to encourage you, graduates, that you don't have to pursue filmmaking. You may not have any interest in it at all. You may be going to the Air Force, an engineer, and so many other professions that I've heard you guys talk about. And yet you can still completely give yourself solely to that ambition. You have incredible potential. I spent 13 years in this building, K through 12. I already told you how much I love these teachers, and I'm honored to call some of them friends today. But you are limitless in your potential. You can achieve, you can accomplish anything. When I was in West Branch, I had heard some kids say some wrong, filthy lies. They would say things like, you know, I went to West Branch, and that's why I can't spell, right? That's why I can't get a better job. That's why I can't do A or B. That is completely and utterly untrue. I know it's fun to joke about, but it's untrue. Same with, you know, like I grew up in a small town, and that's why I can't make it in a big city. That's why I can't live overseas. Try it. It might be the perfect fit for your life. You never know. And I love this area. I love this community. I've seen so many faces and gotten to see some of you and interact with you, and I have such love for this area. It has shaped who I am today. It informs me. It informs my artistic expression. In fact, I wear my class ring, my West Branch graduation class ring, every day because I want to remember where I came from and this place and the people that live here that shaped who I am today. I couldn't be more proud of this area. And I am so encouraged at the thought of more West Branch graduates entering the workforce. And I have a final word for you, and it is a hard word, but for me, it motivates me. It sometimes haunts me, but it also motivates me. I once heard the definition of hell, and it is this: on your last day on earth, the person you became will meet the person you could have become. Graduates, there's no dress rehearsal. You are now adults. You're about to get your diploma. You're going to go out into the world. And I want you guys to live a life that you are proud of, that you're excited about, and I know that you will. I'm excited for you, and I hope in some small way I've imparted a sliver of hope for you. And I look forward to the day when you will inspire me. Thank you.